So guys, welcome back to, well, I haven't actually done one of these videos in quite a long time. It'll be a rebuild of a team. So what we're going to do over the course of 3 seasons is try and get a Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks. And I thought, since I haven't done it with a team for quite a while, or a video like this for quite a while, what better team to do it with than the Seahawks? And these videos, they do very well on YouTube. There's quite a few guys who do videos like this. So I thought I'd give another one a go, just because I do enjoy doing them. I know I usually do Ultimate Team content and things like that, but I do enjoy videos like this. And this is the team we're starting with. It's not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. I can't imagine it being a very, very hard rebuild, because, to be honest, every position has decent players in. The offensive line is terrible. That's something I will have to definitely upgrade. But every other position on offense is pretty decent, and on defense, obviously, the Seahawks are very good. They do need some more defensive tackles. I mean, Cliff Avrill's all right. Frank Clark, he'll be up and coming in place of Cliff Averill, I think. But every other position is fairly decent. Could do with another cornerback and a left outside linebacker, but you know, we'll trade for those guys over the course of the year. So this is the first trade we're going to do. We're going to get some picks for the draft. We'll get rid of Will Hill and a few other guys for some picks from the Browns. Also, to strengthen our offensive line, we're going to get in Jack Conklin, just because he's 85 overall, he's about 21, 22 years old, and we're going to trade away players that we don't particularly need. I mean, our defensive tackles are terrible anyway, and we're going to have to be upgrading them at some point. So we'll get rid of the guys we don't need, some dead weight, get Jack Conklin in, and hopefully go from there. And hopefully he'll be good for the team. This pick, once again, we're just going to get a first round draft pick in, just get rid of some dead weight. Sheed isn't dead weight, but I mean, we'll be able to get in another cornerback who's just as good, if not better than him, for less trade value than a first overall pick. But for the big boy pick, trade even for this first bit, we will get Aaron Donald, who is very easy to trade for, to be honest, as you can see there. We got rid of 2 players who we're not going to use and a third rounder for Aaron Donald. And they're going to be the only trades I'm going to do in the first season. I mean, overall the team's pretty good. It is an aging team, so if you're doing a lot longer career mode, it will be harder. But just for the sake of things now, it's fairly decent. You know, over the course of 3 years, should I say, it's fairly decent team to do, because they have players who I think they're about 27, 28, so their overall won't start going down too much so far. We did actually trade for Quan Alexander as well as Ali Marpet, I think. Didn't put them in the video, but just as a little update for you guys, they are also in the team. So we'll sim ahead a little bit here and see how we're doing at the mid-season mark. And we are 7-0. As I said, they're a very good team compared to a lot of the other teams, you know, in the NFL. They're definitely one of the better teams, the Seahawks. Considering I've also got injuries off and everything, so I will have my starters playing near enough every game. But 7-0, did not expect that. I think, well, this could be one of the seasons where we get a very good record. Potentially could go 16-0, could go undefeated. I'm not sure exactly how we're 7-0 though. Russell Wilson, he's playing decently, 14 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, but not much yardage. And the running backs haven't been doing that well either. To be honest, I'm guessing it's on the defence at this point, because we're playing fairly well, but not 7-0 well. Look at the sacks. We've given up hardly any sacks, so that might be one of the reasons why we tend to win games, is just how well the line is playing, which is quite... I'm hoping Jack Conklin and Marpet have had a huge part to play in that. On the overall, though, it is the defence playing well, as you can see there. Old Thomas already on 3 interceptions, Sherman on 2, halfway through the year. A lot of forced fumbles from a lot of guys there. As you can see, we got a load of them. That's got to be the reason, because in offence, we're only 17th. But in defence, I think we were 2nd overall at that point. And we actually finished the season 14-2. That is incredible for the first year. So obviously I'm pretty hopeful we can make it potentially to a Super Bowl in the first year, which would be unbelievable. But I will still play the 3 seasons, even if we do make it to a Super Bowl this year. You know, we'll see how we do. Russell Wilson had a very good year there, 36 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Thomas Rawls also did very well, rushing for nearly 1,400 yards. CJ Procise as well, got 2,000 yards overall there. Jimmy Graham and Doug Baldwin also had insane years. I mean, it's very rare the tight end comes out on top in yards, but Jimmy Graham's just one of those guys that he'll do that for you. Sacks as well, we did a lot better than I thought we would. We didn't give up many sacks at all. You know, you tend to give up double figures if you don't have an absolutely elite line. And our line was decent. It wasn't elite whatsoever, so we did very well to give up a few sacks there. Bobby Wagner coming out on top on tackles. Cam Chancellor did actually peter off a little bit at the end there. Sacks, Frank Clark did alright. Interceptions, Jeremy Lane coming up big, Richard Sherman coming up big, Earl Thomas coming up big. The defence definitely got us to this record this year. I mean, the offence didn't do bad whatsoever, but the defence did insanely well. And we could have an MVP candidate with Russell Wilson, just because he's taken the team 14-2. I mean, that tends to get you high up in the MVP debate. But one safety as well, no defensive touchdowns. But you can see offence 8th overall, defence had to be up there in the top 10 as well, and we come second in the MVP race to a 10-6 Aaron Rodgers. Don't quite think that's right. I mean, Tony Romo or Ezekiel Elliott could have got in there with 14-2, but I definitely think that Russell Wilson deserved that, and he actually comes lower than Tony Romo in the Offensive Player of the Year, which doesn't make any sense, I don't think. Defensive Player, Bobby Wagner at 5th. I don't think we're going to get any awards then, considering they were the two hopes I had for awards. Jalen Smith, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think we had any rookies particularly do well or even play on the defence or offence, to be honest. Obviously, Russell Wilson coming in there. No one is showing up in the awards. Quite worrying. I mean, we're 14-2. You think we'd have someone quite high up on the awards. Obviously, the line are going to go to the Cowboys. Conklin and Marpet both did very well to get into the top 10 as well there. D-line, we're not going to have anyone because he didn't get many sacks. Linebacker, I think Bobby Wagner's not even in the top 10. That does not make any sense. Richard Sherman, 7th overall cornerback, and we didn't get any awards. Very surprising. So, I'll see how we do in the next game, who we're up against anyway, and we'll see. This is how the team's looking. As you can see, the line's not fantastic. It's decent at best. A lot of people did get the quick development trait because they got to the Pro Bowl. I mean, I'm not sure how, I can't even say his name, Gloskowski got there. Conklin, he got to the Pro Bowl as well, got a lot of XP for that, and Ali Marpet, I think, got to the Pro Bowl as well. He did, but he already had quick development. So, to be honest, the line's developing a lot better than I thought it would. Everywhere else, they're doing alright. Unfortunately, we actually didn't make it through to the Super Bowl. We got knocked out straight away by the Packers. And the Super Bowl is the Patriots-Vikings. You think that at the start of the year, that could have been a potential. But obviously now, that is very unrealistic. And that's just the way Madden simulation works. But unfortunately, we did get absolutely turned over by Green Bay. Beat us by 20 points. Those 3 turnovers definitely didn't help us. I thought this was the chance. This was going to be our year to get through to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it wasn't. So we'll go through to the draft. Didn't do anything insanely good in free agency. We picked up a few guys, nothing noteworthy really. You'll see them when I put through the team next year. We've got quite a few draft picks. I think we had 3. I think we had the 3rd and 4th and the 28th, I think it was. So not as many as some of the other Madden rebuilders get, but I'm pretty happy with that. So there won't. Also, this draft class was terrible, so I was just going to accept any offer that came my way really, trade down as much as I could, because there was only like 1 or 2 players that I did want. And this offer from the Browns, I'm thinking about taking it, but I think I might be able to trade for a little bit better offer just outside of the trade thing here. So we'll go to the Titans. They have a lot of first round picks, as you can see. I'll trade 2 of mine for 3 of theirs, and their first round picks, I think, are better than mine, and the trade comes off. So we're going to keep trading down. Got our 4th overall here. Going to trade for the Lions first, and 3rd. Very happy with that because that gives us something very good next year to work with, and we also have a first this year. We're going to trade for DeForest Buckner, who's very hard to trade for. Don't think I've ever actually managed to get him into a team before, but he is going to be very good for us as a left end because I'm going to move Michael Bennett to a defensive tackle, which gives us a very, very strong front 4. So we're down to our 6th pick. As you can see, the talent isn't great. I do need a linebacker though, so I'm going to go with this guy. He actually is 8th overall. We take him at 6th. Normal development, 79 overall though, so he's pretty good. 20th best outside backer in the league, so I'll take that. Considering we could have got a hell of a lot worse, considering the draft class that this is in. And going forward here, once again, going to trade down. I'll probably sim through the draft a little bit more once I've done this trade here. I'm going to sim through, and this is the team we end up with. I think only one draft pick gets into the starting lineup, and I think that is the outside linebacker himself. So no one else actually was great in the draft. I think the quarterback that was taken first overall was very good. I think he was 82 overall or something, but besides that, nothing stand out whatsoever, which is quite disappointing because you'd expect there to be a hell of a lot of, well, not a hell of a lot of, but a few better players than there were in that draft, considering we have 3 first round picks. I was hoping there was going to be some better players, but there weren't. But we'll go into the next season. We still have a very good team. We've actually upgraded since last year, and we'll do a few trades to upgrade. We'll get Zach Martin in. I'm going to put him at left tackle, Conklin at right tackle, so we have some very good bookends in the team. So our line should be one of the best in the league now, I think, considering we've got quick development guys in there. We've got a good centre, good left guard who are on quick development, so they should get up quite a bit. We're going to trade Quan Alexander. We're going to get Tyreek Hill in just for his speed. I think he has 97 speed, but as you can see from the team here, it's looking fairly decent. Lowest grade overall we've got is a C as our number 2 corner, which I don't think will play too much of a part. Every other grade on the defence is unreal, and on offence is great as well. So we're 5-2. Not as good as last year. I think last year was sort of a bit of a one-off. You very rarely go undefeated for half a season, let alone a whole season. And we started off with 2 losses, which was quite worrying. But we picked it up from there and got a 5-game winning streak. And we actually lost against the Rams, but managed to beat the Packers and the Cowboys, which you wouldn't expect if you lost to the Rams. So we'll see how the team are doing overall stats-wise now. And stats-wise, we're doing very well. Russell Wilson is already up to 2,500 yards and 24 touchdowns. He could be on for an MVP year. Looking at that, he could end up with about 50 touchdowns if he stays on pace, which is unreal. Thomas Rawls also rushing very well. And Doug Baldwin already up to 850 yards halfway through the year. I mean, him and Russell Wilson must be having an unbelievable year together, and that's probably why. We've only given up 5 sacks, 4 from Zach Martin. I thought he would be the least, considering he's 97 overall at the left tackle spot. And defence, I'm not going to see how we're doing defensive wise actually just yet. I'll see at the end of the year, but for now, we'll jump through a little bit of the year. As you can see, XP wise, we're also doing very well. Jack Conklin up to a 90 overall, so is Ali Marpet. And on defence, everyone has a lot of XP as well, and they're already very good stats-wise and overall-wise. We'll have to sign a few guys back to the team. Cam, I'm just going to try and get him back, considering 93 overall. And he's going to try and test out free agency. Great. That's exactly what I didn't want to hear. Thomas Rawls doesn't want the contract either. Justin Britt, he's a guy I want to get back because of the quick development, and he doesn't want the contract either. So good start on the negotiation front for us. We'll jump through a little bit and see where we end up. And Russell Wilson there looks like he might have got MVP in the bottom left. If I click through to the right screen, we'll actually find out. We finished 12-4. Not as good as last year. Team's actually better, so I'm not sure how that works out. And Russell Wilson, first in the NFL with touchdowns, 46 touchdowns and nearly 5,000 yards. For a mobile QB, that is unbelievable. I mean, I didn't expect that whatsoever. Thomas Rawls also did very well. And Doug Baldwin went for 1,500 yards with 109 receptions. Jimmy Graham's still playing very well. And Tyler Lockett getting 900 yards there, sneaking up the leaderboard. Not as many catches whatsoever. Did give up more sacks this year, which, considering our line was a lot better, wouldn't expect whatsoever. Bobby Wagner having an unreal year as well with 130 tackles and a few sacks to boot. Sacks. I don't know why our defensive line just isn't getting going. They're all very good players. DeForest Buckner couldn't get going. I'm pretty sure he's playing left end. Interceptions. Bobby Wagner with 6. That's got to be defensive player of the year. I mean, you can't expect anything less considering that many interceptions, a few sacks in there as well, and 130 tackles. We'll see the yearly awards now. Offensive, we came second. Defense, we got to be high up there. Russell Wilson doesn't get MVP. Comes behind Blake Bortles with a 14-2 Jags. The Jags always seem to do well in franchise mode. Not sure how, but if you watch a lot of the other videos on YouTube, they do very well. I do have a lot of young players, to be fair, which is probably where they grow within the years and get better. Might actually do that in real life, but in the NFL at the moment, they're really not doing it. Russell Wilson does get Offensive Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year goes to Bobby Wagner in the NFC. So they're going to have a hell of a lot of XP to work with. The Offensive Rookie, that was the QB that I was speaking about earlier that went to the 49ers, who got the first round pick, and we don't get Defensive Rookie. Sean Nix was the only guy we had a chance with getting it. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. Best QB, obviously, Russell Wilson. Are we on the best running back one at all? We're not. Obviously, Ezekiel Elliott's going to win that quite often because of the line he has. Doug Baldwin didn't get number 1. Brandon Cooks is 99 overall as well, by the way, which is unreal. We do get a lot of good O-linemen up there. Conklin, Marpet and Martin have been very good pickups for the team. They've obviously given us a very good foundation to build off. And Bobby Wagner doesn't get best linebacker. He gets best defensive player of the year, but doesn't get just best linebacker. Don't get how that works whatsoever. We don't get any other awards. We just get Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner up there, which, once again, quite confusing. You do tend to see a hell of a lot of Seahawks players up there, but we have so much XP to work with. You can see Marpet, Conklin, Martin, and can't pronounce the left guard's name, so I'm just going to say our left guard. Probably made the Pro Bowl, so they got a lot of XP as well. DeForest Buckner is superstar development, so he should have a hell of a lot of XP to work with. I'm going to move him officially to left end. I think he's been playing left end, or I hope he has been. Considering the XP he probably has. I'll leave him as a speed rusher for now, because I don't think that makes a hell of a lot of difference. Maybe 1 or 2 points in the overall, but considering his stats, I think he'll be a good enough speed rusher for us. With that, I think it's 28,000 XP you can see there. He should get up to a good 90 overall. We'll just auto upgrade because I don't want to go through and do it myself. I'm more than happy for the CPU to do it because they'll give you the stats in the best places for them to play. Won't be the highest overall, but they'll be the best stats for them to play their position. So we'll see how the team's looking. 97 overall Russell Wilson, 99 Zach Martin, 97 Conklin, 95 Marpet, and 86 left guard. Everywhere else, Jimmy Graham's back up to a 99, Tyreek Hill up to an 88, and on defence, DeForest Buckner up to a 91, exactly like I thought, getting into the 90s. Bobby Wagner up to 99. We've got so many 90s across the board. This has to be a Super Bowl year. We'll see who we're playing, and we're playing the Lions in the divisional playoff. We know how this went last week. Being a Lions fan, pretty salty about that, but we'll see how we do in this game. Accidentally clicked play the moment there, but just to see our overall, we're a 97 overall. I think that's the best overall I've ever seen in a rebuild. So we'll just go through to the game, just get a little bit of gameplay, and we should win this. We're 11 overall points better than the Lions, so it should be a very easy win. Not going to play any of the game myself, just going to simulate it just to see how the team does just by being the coach. So I think playing the game does make it a little bit worse content wise, because obviously if I played the games myself I could easily win the Super Bowl with any team. To be honest, I could put the difficulty down, just win the Super Bowl with any team. Even though the difficulty is really high up, it's pretty easy to beat the computer. So I want to just sim the entire thing and see how we do against the Lions, who are 9-7 compared to our 12-4. Don't know how we did against them earlier in the year. Didn't look through whatsoever, but you can see we have so many 90 overall players. I think we do stand a very good chance to win. So we're just going to watch the entire thing here. Hopefully we end up winning quite convincingly. I'm just going to skip every play at the moment. Should have just clicked play the full thing. But anyway, considering the quarters are only 4 minutes on play at the moment, the game couldn't be or shouldn't be that high scoring. Go to a nice 3 early lead. Looks like the Lions are going to pull something back. They do make it 7-3. We're into the red zone, and can we get the touchdown? Doesn't look like we can. 7-6, and the Lions are all over us at the moment. Third down, can we block the field goal? We can't, so we're down 4 points. Coming into the half, I think that was an interception thrown from Russell Wilson there, and they convert a touchdown. So it's 17-6. This is not looking good whatsoever for us. 17-14, pulled it back a little bit. I think we can rely on the defence to get a stop here somewhere. We can't. 20-4 though. We just need a touchdown and a conversion to get it. Unfortunately, the Lions got the ball back. They're just going to run down the clock a fair amount here. Get the touchdown. We are down 2 touchdowns now, which is terrible. It looks like we've got a touchdown. Can we get the ball back? Doesn't look like we can, and that's the end of the game. So, I don't know how we lost that. We were 97 overall to their 86. I have no idea how that works whatsoever. Stafford just played better than Russell Wilson by the looks of it, which is very frustrating. I thought this was going to be one of the easiest Super Bowls you could get. We'll see what overall we are, because the overall does actually change after the game to show your offense and defensive overall. We're going to definitely be very high. Quite annoyed that we actually didn't get through the Super Bowl there. I thought we were a shoo-in to at least get through the Super Bowl, at least beat the Lions. 11 points overall better, and we can't do it. Very, very frustrating. So we'll see the team overall after we've upgraded our coach a little bit, just to get us a little bit better in the coming years. 99 offense, 99 defense, and we managed to lose. Cannot believe that. So I'll just sim through a little bit. Very salty about that. Let's sim through a little bit and see where we end up, or what's happening in the 3rd year of the rebuild. So we're coming up to the end of the 3rd year of the rebuild. Wasn't too much to show early on, and it looks like we didn't even make playoffs. That's absolutely ridiculous. 5-10-1 with this team. If we look at the team, the only position who's not good is the fullback. Everywhere else is A grade or above. Russell Wilson had a good year. Offense 24th in the NFL. That's probably why. Looks like we didn't have much rushing whatsoever happen. Oh no, we did. Had over 1,000 yards, Thomas Rawls. Not sure how we're 24th in the NFL then. You know, offense seemed to do pretty decently. Did we give up many sacks? Not too many. Only 11 overall the course of the year. I'll take that. Bobby Wagner had an unbelievable year. Trent Murphy also had a good year, who we traded for. Got a fair amount of sacks, so no idea how we're 5-10 now then. Quite a few interceptions there for Keanu Neal, who we also traded for. Considering this is the last year, just made a few big trades at the earlier on stage. But I don't know how we're 5-10-1 with those stats. That's ridiculous. I think that's kind of put a massive downer on the rebuild as a whole. Considering we got to the playoffs first 2 seasons during the rebuild. We actually didn't in the final season. Haven't got any awards by the looks of it whatsoever. Didn't expect to, considering we're 5-10-1. That is very annoying, to be honest. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever seen anything like this happen, when you've had clearly a very, very good team, as you can see there, overall wise. It's got to be high 90s yet again, and they just haven't come up big. A lot of XP for players as well, so we could easily, definitely up to a 99 overall now. But how has that happened? Let me know down in the comments if you know. But for now, I'm just going to call it a day here, considering that's 3 years. The target is to do it in 3 years. We did fail this rebuild overall, unfortunately, which is quite frustrating. I think the team is a Super Bowl winning team, but we didn't actually end up winning the Super Bowl, quite annoyingly. 99 overall on Jack Conklin, though. At least a little bit of something to go with. But overall, thank you guys for watching. If you have watched this far, #Survivor in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon for another video.